What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Now, before we even say anything about Chapter 16 of The Mandalorian, I want to say right now, spoiler warning, obviously, if you have not seen it, exit this video now. Okay, with that being said, I'm just going to get right into it. A few thoughts before we really start to talk about the episode. One, obviously those last 10 to 15 minutes are some of the greatest Star Wars I've ever seen. We're going to talk about that. Two, Dark Troopers are something special. And three, well, I told you so. I told you so. The video didn't get a lot of views and a lot of people disagreed with me, but I told you Luke Skywalker had to come around. Okay, let's talk about this. So I don't think I want to run through the whole episode and break down every scene, but I really want to talk about the big points. So the fight between Moff Gideon and Din was epic. I thought that was so cool, and I really liked when Din fought the Dark Trooper, the one-on-one battle earlier on in the episode, because it really showed just how dangerous they are. And then finally, he resorts to using the Beskar, the staff, and that's when he finally claims victory. And I thought that was pretty cool because it set us up for the battle with Moff a couple minutes later. The darksaber situation with Bo-Katan and Mando, that's gonna be interesting. I don't think Bo-Katan is gonna fight Mando, so I do actually believe we're gonna open season 3 with Mando still in possession of the darksaber. I don't really see a way around that unless it really does mean that much to her that she's going to challenge him. That is a possibility, I suppose, and we could see that happen. So, I mean, we've got a whole year to wait, so sit tight and we'll have to wait and see. But now, let's get to what everyone really wants to talk about. So, hello. Luke Skywalker appeared, and this was something I predicted before the season started. I said it was a legitimate possibility because Luke is the only Jedi in the galaxy, so on and so forth. You guys know the theory. Now, I think it's important to say this. A lot of people felt that Rian Johnson's treatment of Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi was disrespectful and it was not in line with his character. And whether you agree with that or not, this episode, I feel, as someone who didn't like The Last Jedi when it came out, but has come quite a long way and appreciates a lot of what was in that film, but I still have my problems. But the point is, I think this episode of The Mandalorian went a long way in fixing those quote-unquote mistakes, fixing Luke Skywalker for a lot of people, saving Luke Skywalker, Because, yeah, Luke had this massive heroic moment in The Last Jedi where he force-projected himself and really showed just how powerful he was. But that wasn't enough for a lot of people, and even for me when I watched the movie, that wasn't really enough for me. I was expecting, this Luke Skywalker who was so OP for the whole movie and was gonna go insane, and we didn't get that, and that's partly my fault because I came in with those expectations. But I'm getting off topic. I don't want to talk about The Last Jedi right now. I want to talk about this episode. The point is that this one episode of The Mandalorian just changed Luke Skywalker. It put him more in line with the Luke we knew in the original trilogy, and for those of you who are really into Legends, he was like a Force god in Legends. But this episode right here, for the people who couldn't understand Luke Skywalker's behavior in The Last Jedi, this is a big step toward fixing this character. And I don't know if we're ever going to see him again. You have to think that we're going to see Luke and Grogu again. Mando did say, "I'll see you again, kid." So we have to think that they are going to reunite in some form down the road. Maybe in season 3, maybe not till season 4, maybe they won't at all. But I'm really curious to see how this relationship between Luke and Grogu develops. So you have to think they're going to write a book or have a spin-off TV show or do something to follow up on that. Because, as I've pointed out, it's too early for Ben Solo to be Luke's apprentice yet. But what does this mean? Does that mean that Grogu was Luke's apprentice before Ben Solo? And if that's the case, what happened in that 4 to 6 years before Luke takes Ben as his apprentice? So what's gonna happen? Is it just not gonna work out? Is Luke gonna say, hey, he's too attached to Din Djarin and I have to give him back to you? Or how is that relationship going to develop? Because we've seen the Rise of Kylo Ren comic, we've seen the movies, and the child is not even mentioned. And if you look at that comic, and obviously if we evaluate Ben Solo's behavior throughout the trilogy, it's very unlikely, I think, that Ben Solo killed the child. I don't think that's going to be what happened. What's more likely to me is that Luke is going to end up not training Grogu for whatever reason. We can speculate on that for ages until we finally find out what happened. But the thing is, when the sequel trilogy came around, Grogu's still only 80 years old, and looking at the way this species appears to age, unless he has like some massive acceleration in his aging process, I mean, he's still gonna be like a kid. So this character could be around for centuries, like after the sequel trilogy. So the potential is endless really for him. You know, like we could see a fourth Star Wars trilogy for all we know, and Grogu could be the main hero, the main villain, the Jedi Master. Like, the possibilities are endless with him. But I think it's going to be really interesting to see how they develop that relationship between Luke and Grogu, because I have to think they're going to pick that back up at some point. But I want to go back to Luke a little bit and really talk about why I think this episode did so much for the character, because like I said, Last Jedi, that was all we really saw of Luke in the sequel trilogy, and it was underwhelming for most people. But here we see Luke obviously flowing much more fluidly than even he did in the original trilogy. You could say that's, you know, thanks to the age we live in or whatever, but like it's a massive development for this character because he was very fluid and confident, and it's a big piece of symbolism to show how much Mando struggled with one dark trooper, and then to watch Luke just effortlessly slice through an entire platoon of them. You know, he's using the Force to push them back, he's slicing through their entire army, and then the last one, when he gets to him, he crushes them. Like, that was pretty cool too. Now, one of the big questions about Luke Skywalker and whether they're actually going to pursue his life in between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens is this CGI thing, because I think you can definitely tell, like, in my opinion, it was pretty obvious that there was some CGI involved, and it wasn't like just an actor. And you know, I mean, they have to do that. Obviously, Mark Hamill can't play Luke Skywalker anymore, but I just wonder how accepting fans will be of that for an entire TV show or a movie or a trilogy, you know? I'm fine with it. I just want more Luke Skywalker. I think their handling of him in this episode was fantastic, but I do wonder how accepting fans will be of that. If they were to do it, you know, we really don't know. But I think most fans would agree that we just want to see Luke Skywalker, you know. I still think the best way to do it is to pursue a story a few years down the road from The Mandalorian. It can start there and then eventually build to The Force Awakens, or not to The Force Awakens, but to when Ben Solo becomes Kylo Ren. So we get to see all this time of Luke and Ben at the temple and traveling the galaxy training, and I think that will be a really cool thing to see. Not only because we'll get to see more Luke Skywalker in this form, but also because we'll get to see the Ben Solo backstory, and it'll paint an even more obvious picture of how much of a victim he was, and I think that will be a really cool story, and I don't see why they wouldn't pursue that. Oh, also, there's been some people theorizing about this, but it was actually something that I thought of, like I recognized it right when I saw it, right as I was watching the episode, and that's that R2-D2 appears to recognize Grogu. You know, they kind of have this little interaction. We don't know what either one of them are saying, but R2 gets really excited after a second of them going back and forth. And I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think that would be really interesting and a really exciting thing if R2 and Grogu actually recognize each other from the Jedi Temple. I also forgot to mention the actual ending scene with Boba Fett and Fennec. I don't really know where that's going. It was very interesting to see them go back to Tatooine and for them to light the place up the way they did, and then Boba Fett claim the throne of Jabba's palace. Like, that was pretty interesting. And then there's a book coming out next year, December 2021, so I'll probably pick that up and read it. That's going to be pretty fascinating to see where they go with that. I like this tandem of Fennec Shand and Boba Fett working together, so that's going to be cool too. But okay, guys, so those are some of my initial thoughts. I know it might have been a little all over the place, but I really like to just come get on here right when I finish watching the episode, come give you guys my thoughts and let you know what I thought about the episode and where I think things are going to go. We've got a long way till season 3. I mean, really, it won't be that long. Like, time's gonna fly by as it always does. But we've got a year to speculate on what's gonna happen next, so I'm sure I will have plenty more videos giving my thoughts in more depth on this episode and talking about what I think is next. So let me know what you guys thought about this episode, what you liked, maybe what you didn't like, and what you think we are building toward for the future. I really think they're expanding this galaxy and expanding this time between episode 6 and episode 7 a lot, and we are really going to start to dive into what happened, how the First Order came to be, how Luke Skywalker transitioned from this legendary Jedi Knight to this terrified and somewhat cowardly old man, and that he was in The Last Jedi for a while. So again, it's going to be extremely interesting. It's going to be so cool to watch. I am so excited for the future of Star Wars and this show, but not only this show. Like, things are looking up, man. This is going to be so cool. Okay, I'm ending it here. So again, let me know what you guys thought. I hope you guys all have a great day wherever you may be. Please remember to leave a like on this video if you did enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and may the Force be with you always.